I'm Lance Yelvington with CyberCountry. T.G. Sheppard is one of those country icons that always comes up with great music. In this CyberCountry Minute, he's going to talk to us about his latest CD called Iconic Duets, where he puts together great music with a few of his best musical friends.
Well, what I tried to do, I tried to put together a grouping of friends, and it just so happened that all of these friends were just like icons, So I put the call out to, Willie Nelson and Jerry Lee Lewis and Merle Haggard, and gosh, the list goes on forever. And lo and behold, they all called back, and they said, "We're in." So, I'd been looking for something for a long time that I felt would validate me as a performer, because I never really have took serious what I do. I mean, I'm very fortunate to do what I do.
Well, it's a country icon. It's a little hard to get away from. Think about that.
Once they came in and recorded with me, I told my wife, I said, now I feel like I've arrived. I feel like I've finally done something, because if they believed in me enough as friends to come in and do this, then, hey, we must have done something in our career. So it's a great project, a lot of fun, a long time in the making. Legendary Friends and Country Duets, it came about because I had been getting from so many people on the road at tours and our concerts. We really miss, our country that we like so much. And I felt it was my way of bringing real country back to the country.
When we say real country, is there a big difference, you think, now between what you hear now on the radio and country and what has been? Or is it kind of like a cyclical process where you have times in country music that you'll be at one point and then it'll evolve?
Yeah, it's different, but there has to be change in something or it dies, okay? So I'm a traditional artist, a classic country artist, but I still love a lot of what's happening in the country of today, music of today. I think there's room for everyone. I think the biggest mistake that we make sometimes in our business is that we tend to completely do away with one era of our music and concentrate more on the present. So I think a lot of the real true country fans want it all. They still want the new country, which there's plenty of room for everyone in this business, but they still want to hear Haggard and Jones and Willie and hopefully T.G. Sheppard and the Oak Ridge Boys and people like that. So, yeah, there's always going to be a change.
Now, what was the process of getting ready for this? Because this idea, I'm sure, had been in your mind for a while. What was the impetus to get this thing out there?
Actually, writing a song about Jerry Lee Lewis's life called "The Killer." Great songwriter Bobby Tomberlin, which we all know, and my wife Kelly Lang, a great singer-songwriter, and myself started putting this song together about Jerry Lee's life called "The Killer." And we kind of approached Jerry Lee with it, and he had some suggestions because it's about his life. So he joined us on it as a writer. And so we wrote the song, and I said, that's the makings of an album. And I guess that artist, along with Willie Nelson, was the two that was the catalyst in making me realize that I needed to do a duet album. But I never knew all these people would say yes. I mean, I figured somebody would turn me down, but they all came, and they gave their time with no questions asked. They were great friends.
What's the most fun part about putting this whole thing together?
I can tell you the nightmares.
What was that like?
It was fun recording. I can't tell you that when it was great recording. The nightmares was trying in scheduling of the performers' careers and tours and other commitments that they had, and it was very hard to get everyone together. You couldn't do it all at one time. You would do one this month, and maybe a couple of months you'd grab one, and so it took a period of years to really get this album completely finished. One of the last cuts that we did on the album was right before George Jones died, and George came in and met me in the studio, and we recorded a song called "It's a Man Thing," and so it's been that long of trying to get all this put together. So every session was fun, but there were some nightmares on scheduling.
Yeah, I noticed that was one thing that kind of stood out for the songs that are on there. It's like George Jones. I thought, wait a minute, this is going to be a cool song, and it sounded fantastic. What was that like for hearing yourself, country icon that you are, with these other country icons? What was that
I
like?
consider myself iconic.
Well, the rest of the world does.
Oh, well, you're very kind. It was really strange to be able to hear the playback or be standing in the studio with these people. People that that have inspired me my whole 41-year career, and people that I've become friends with. I mean, these are the people these were my mentors, these people that I looked up to. And to be standing there with them was like a full circle moment in my life and my career, was to say to myself, wow, I'm in the studio with George Jones or Merle Haggard or Jerry Lee or Mickey Gilley and Oakes, Lori Morgan, all these great singers. Gosh, it was a very exciting thing that happened, and it was a very magical album to put together. It just happened.
Now, what kind of reaction on the road have you had from people when you sing some of your new stuff? Have you had anything? What's the feeling you get from the audience?
Well, they like it because it's reminiscent of music that they used to hear a lot, of country music. I don't know if it's necessarily reminiscent of the music. They're hearing the voices again that they miss. They love the voices on this album of Haggard and Jones and Willie and Jerry Lee and all those people. But the new music on the road has gotten an incredible reception to it because they're really liking it. It's still a little classic country, but it's really modern day mixed with it, which makes it all work.
How are you going to be hitting the road with the new album once it's released? I mean, are we going to be able to get anything here in town, near Nashville, or
I don't
where are you guys
know.
going?
It's going to be hard to get the artists to come on the road and do their shows with me. Maybe a video would be the only way to probably get together with these people and maybe do a few things that way, or maybe do the Opry with maybe the Oaks or with Lori or B.J. Thomas. B.J. was a fun person to do the show with, along with Jimmy Fortune. Not the show, but the album. It'll be difficult on the road to duplicate these songs without the artist. I guess I probably could go in and get a track of their vocals and do do the duets on the road, but to me that's not real.
Or work book the Ryman. I mean, how hard is that?
Well, I would love to. The Grand Ole Opry is important to all of us in music, and the Opry Trust Fund is very important to all of us in music. And I could probably maybe foresee in the future, maybe someday, of doing a concert strictly with the proceeds going to the Opry Trust Fund with some of these artists on stage at the Opera House. That would be a highlight of my career if I could, because there's no greater stage to play in the world for a country performer than the Grand Ole Opry. And to have been able to grace that stage many times in my career has just been a dream come true for me.
Now, let me ask you, why should a country fan go out and get this new CD and go see one of your shows?
Well, I think the reason to go get the CD is because it's going to be something that I think they will enjoy hearing, those voices, those iconic voices. But I think they're going to like the music because the songs really and truly are well done. I mean, the Oak Ridge Boys song, Down on My Knees, is an incredible song. And then the song with Lori Morgan, called The Next One, is reminiscent of the Torch Singers, of the music of the 30s and 40s. You're going to hear my influences of my life and career in that album. It's going to be many different musical influences. As far as coming to see a show, when you come to one of my shows, I never know what's going to happen. I mean, I may wind up in the audience. I don't know. I don't believe in having just a show that just a set show. I think a show should be spontaneous. I think it should be what the people want and let them carry you where they want to go in a concert. If there's a certain type of music they want to hear, switch gears. Give them what they want. In my shows, you see a person walk on stage for an hour, hour and 15, hour and 20. having more fun than you could ever have sitting in the audience. So it's a fun thing for me. Hi, T.G. Sheppard here. I hope you'll check us out at tgsheppard.com or follow us on Twitter or, of course, Facebook. I hope you'll come see us on our shows, and I hope that you will continue to support my music, because for 41 years you have, and I thank you.